What should you expect from the Mitsubishi F-2? So that aircraft was leaked by our main beloved leakers, right? And with that, I need to do a video talking about what you should expect from it on the game. So the main objective of these videos is to talk a little bit about the aircraft, describe the aircraft a little bit for you to understand what it is, and also try to compare to something in the game to try to have an idea of how would it actually be like to play with. Okay, so things that you need to learn from this is that it came from the Agile Eagle, Agile Falcon program of the F-16. Okay, so it's a modified, upgraded F-16 that it's built for Japan. 60% of the aircraft was built in Japan and 40% in the US, so it's very much still an F-16 that it's made for Japanese service. Okay, the main feature include the following compared to an F-16C. So it has 25% more wing area. Composite materials were used to try to control the weight and the radar signature of the aircraft. It has a longer and wider nose to accommodate, and this is one of the main features of this aircraft, an AESA radar from the get-go. It has a larger tailplane, a 3-piece cockpit canopy, so you can distinguish the aircraft a lot because of that, right? Of course, avionics and some other aspects on the aircraft itself internally will be different from the F-16. It has original flight control systems made for the aircraft itself, capability of using the ESM-1 and 2 anti-ship missiles, Japanese-made air-to-air missiles like the 3, 4, 5, those missiles, and additional fuel tanks as well. Also, with the F-2 having a drogue parachute. So think about what this means. It means that it's going to be the same as the F-16C with the same engine, but a little bit more heavy, although it does have a little bit more of composite materials used and stuff like that. It is still heavier, around 1 ton heavier than F-16C. But it has more wing area and it uses an AESA radar. So what you should expect from this aircraft is that it is going to turn better initially in the instantaneous turn, probably more than the F-16C. But because it's heavier and because it has more wing area, so it produces more drag, it will probably be worse than the F-16C in the longer dogfights. So in the continuous turn, it will be worse, since it has the same power output. So the thrust rate of this thing is worse, and at the same time it can pull a little bit more AOA initially and stuff until it starts to lose more speed because of the extra drag and weight. Okay, that's the main idea on the performance side of things. An F-16C that has more wing area, but it is heavier, and with these two little things it can be better in certain situations and worse in others. Okay, that's the main idea out of the performance of this aircraft. Like I said, it uses an AESA radar, so it will be the best F-16 on that regard. We will have the best F-16 radar of all, because it is, it is the first AESA radar to ever be put into service. So it's a very, very modern radar. It is going to be on par with the AESA radars and Pegasus radars that we have in the game already. So the Rafale, the Su-34, it will be something similar to that on how it feels to use that radar. And of course, it is still a light aircraft, so it will still climb very well. It will still be able to deploy the missiles in a very, very efficient way, and it can still do Mach 2 plus speeds. It can still be very fast. It can still climb well. We can still deploy the weapons, especially with the AESA radar. So, in a general sense, it will still be, in my opinion, depending on the missiles that they add, but I have a feeling that the missiles will be the M3 and 4. It will be a 13.7, probably a 14.0 BR aircraft. It will be the best, probably, aircraft that the Japanese will have. Or, on the very least, on the same levels of performance on the terms of how the player can feel like flying and be able to combat other aircraft as the F-15 JM that we have, okay? So, I even have a feeling that it will be better because it will have more wing area, so you will be able to be a very dogfighter F-16, and with the AESA radar, which is, it just increases a lot the capabilities of situational awareness of these aircraft. It means that it will be a very good PVR machine, okay? So, but at the same time, if you really look into this, it's not gonna break the game. It really is not gonna break the game. You know, it's an aircraft that, I gotta be honest, it is the perfect time to be added. Hopefully it's not delayed like they said on the leak. And I mean, it could even be added before. I mean, last patch we could already have this aircraft. It wouldn't break the game. This aircraft is a 4+ generation almost, right? But at the same time, you gotta think that the flight performance out of it, it's still very much it has a foot very much on the 4th generation. So it means that it is probably not gonna be like an Eurofighter or a FAL in terms of performance. You know, the most likely thing is that it is just going to be a different flavor of an F-16C. The bigger thing here is that it has this radar. You know, it has this capability of using the best technology out there of radar, which means that you can make those AM4s or those AM120s really work well. And with the proper way of flying, it can be one of the best aircraft in the game. But at the same time, it's nothing that we already have in the game. You know, it's like don't have in the game. It's an aircraft that will be on par with the stuff that we have. It will probably be worse than the Eurofighter, because the Eurofighter is just, my god. And even the Rafale, because these two aircraft are really tough to beat right now. But on a 1v1 kind of situation, right? It's an aircraft that has more advantages than something like the Mitsubishi F-2, but at the same time, it will be an aircraft that it's up there doing its thing, and it can be very, very good. So at the end of the day, you should expect an F-16C that has a different flavor to it, that has more modern systems added to it. Although the F-16C Block 50 that we have in the game, it's pretty modern. It's like from the 2000s because of the helmet and stuff. But it's still, the F-2, because of the technology that it's implemented inside the aircraft, it is just a more modern-ish kind of aircraft, you know, so you will be able to do better, especially on the situational awareness because of the IASA radar. The IASA's, Electronic Scanned Array radars, are amazing. They really, really are way better. I mean, it doesn't break the game or fix the game or anything that when you are flying something like this, but you will see that it is a way better radar if you're jumping from the normal Japanese aircraft that we have there in that tech tree right now. Okay, guys? So, although it's gonna be very cool, don't expect anything of a super fighter, okay? Have your feet on the ground and think and look at this aircraft for what it is. A heavily upgraded F-16, and let's fly it like a heavily upgraded F-16, okay? Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing aircraft, but have that in mind and you will not be frustrated, trust me. So this is the F-2, guys, an incredible aircraft that hopefully gets added. It's about time this thing comes for the Japanese Air Force. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the Mitsubishi F-2, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys, see you.